On the 10th of April 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, we were just settling down to participate in the Good Friday Mass with Father Darrell when we looked up at the sky at about 8:30 in the evening and we saw something that was quite unusual. Now, we do live about 20 kilometers from the city center of Saskatoon, in a very quiet rural part of the country where there's very little air pollution and light pollution. So we can very often see the constellations quite clearly. And so very often we would see the evening star or Venus. But looking at Venus on this occasion, it really looked quite different. Instead of being a single clear star, it actually seemed to be surrounded by a cluster of little lights. Now, my first impression was that it's probably just a refraction of the light through the windows. It's probably just a distortion, and so it was just nothing to be there. But I did think, could this maybe be some kind of a comet, or at least a cluster of comets coming towards Earth? Because these are such unusual times. Or being in really such unusual times, could this be like some kind of a spaceship or a fleet of spaceships? And I thought, no, that's also just completely ridiculous. And so we forgot about it, just left it and forgot about it, and continue on with the rest of the evening. The Saturday evening, I looked up again and it was still there, and I asked Jermaine, well, can you see what I'm seeing? Is there a cluster of lights around Venus? And she said yes, she can see it as well. So we decided, well, look, it's probably just once again refraction, but what we did was we went outside and had a look outside directly at Venus, and there was nothing there. It was just Venus with no cluster. So we said, okay, it's obviously just a refraction of the light. But by the Sunday evening, we looked up and it was still there. We could still see this cluster of lights around Venus. And so we said, no, there must be something going on here. So I decided, well, I'm going to go onto the web and just try to see if anybody else has seen the same kind of thing that we are seeing. And lo and behold, yes, what we found on the web was really, really quite interesting. Not only have other people seen exactly the same thing, but this was something that was extremely unusual. I found an article by Bruce McClure and Deborah Bird in Astronomy Essentials that describes a phenomenon related to Venus that occurs just once every 8 years during the month of April. And this is when the planet Venus passes in front of a constellation of stars called the Pleiades. And this is described as the conjunction of Venus with the background constellation of Pleiades. This gives Venus the so-called halo or cluster of stars around it. This was, of course, a huge relief, and it just helped to reassure us that we weren't actually losing our minds. And this phenomenon occurs just once every second leap year. So it is totally by chance that we actually noticed it. And it's really unlikely that we would have noticed it if it wasn't for this COVID-19 pandemic. Because with the pandemic, we were forced to be indoors, forced to attend the Mass virtually. And of course, I was distracted by this unusual appearance of Venus in the sky. Really privileged to have witnessed this, and thank you to the authors of that article for explaining it in such easy to understand terms. If you've enjoyed this video, please press the like button. If you would like to see similar video content in future, please subscribe to our channel. Until the next time, I'm going to say cheers.